Good morning, ladies. Welcome to elohimimi podcast. You are listening to part 2 of Into 2021 series, The Discipline. So listen in prayers, open up your heart, let the magic flow out of you. This is elohimimi podcast. As 2020 is coming to an end within a few weeks, we all had a bunch of stressful experiences so far. Some become more closer to God, some become less closer to God. Some realize nothing is tangible, some realize we cannot have control over anything, we cannot predict anything, nothing is stable or granted, no one is resistant, no one is safe. Some realize whatever said in Bible was real, some even invade Bible and Jesus Christ. Likewise, it was a huge emotional roller coaster time frame for each and everyone. But one thing I learned for sure was the importance of practicing discipline, self-Bible mental discipline. Before jumping in detail, let me tell you, so last episode of 2021 series, we talked about the planning controversy. If you haven't heard about it, it is available in my podcast. Please make sure to listen. And also more happy news, Elohim podcast is now available in Apple Podcast. Yes. And the written article to this podcast episode is available in my blog, it's linslife.com, with more Bible references. Make sure to check those as well and make sure to subscribe to my blog. Okay, let's jump into our topic. Because during this global pandemic, if we open the social media, we can see the traumas, freakouts, poor prophecies, quick slip into depression. Everything was little out of control. When I read Matthew chapter 24 verse 6 to 14, you will understand in what intensity Matthew has wrote those verses. 20 years before when I read those verses, I thought like people might knock your door to do wrong prophecies and also war rumors. Come on, how can a war rumor can be created? I mean, all the countries are in good alliance. But recently, when we read the news, none of the countries looks safe. The hunger, the earthquake, the poverty, and all those issues are increasing. And yeah, of course, it happens every time. But I used to think, is it such scary as it wrote on these verses? And now, today, right now, on this day, I can see it's really, really scary. Can you imagine how things will be when his time is more nearer? If I don't discipline myself in this situation, I might run with the person who says wrong prophecy. I might even slip into the depression, and if I might even see the day-to-day life as more stressful. And if I don't control my thoughts and what I see and what I listen, I might lose the family equilibrium and myself. If I don't discipline myself, we all might end up in chaos, like big chaos. You know the story of Job. I will say he's the best example of all these three discipline. Please go read book of Job and read very carefully how disciplined he was at his hardest and best time for more reference. In Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. No rule over his own spirit, like his own spirit is kind of inner self. If you do not have the control over your inner self, or like yourself, the way you think, you act, you might get lost. The best famous example of the person who doesn't had control over himself and did mistake just for a second was David in book of 2 Samuel chapter 11. For once he lost over lust and did a huge mistake. Yes, just one wrong thing, just for a second, can lead to a big sin or a big mistakes of life. If Job is the best example of wealth discipline, then David is the best example of losing it for a second. Likewise, there are many examples in Bible and in our day-to-day who have good discipline and who doesn't have. Let's cut the chase and jump directly into discipline, how to get into self, Bible, and mental discipline. Most of us will say Bible is enough for having discipline. Yes, it is correct, no doubt on that, but there is a part you should do. We do not realize that. Always, remember, always there is a part that you should do, okay? There is something that you have to provide. You don't say, Bible say that Jesus didn't listen to my prayers. Don't complain to Jesus like he didn't do it, because what is the first thing you did? There's a big part of that you should do something, okay? So just look ourselves. If we are disciplined, then why we are jealous, envy, anger, etc. All those emotions to others, and getting to step for the pandemic, running behind false prophecies, getting the step. Excuse me, I'm sick, so my sounds. That's why my sound sounds weird. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, don't tell me it's human emotion and nature. Yes, it is human emotions. That is why we need to control those to our best. So my only step is know yourself. That is emotional intelligence. That is the capability of individuals to recognize their own emotions and those of others, discern between different feelings and label them appropriately. Good emotional intelligence helps to guide thinking and behavior and manage and adjust those to the and adapt to the environment or achieve the goals. So if you take the story of Job, I would say his emotional intelligence was pretty good because if you see the verse 5 of chapter 1, you can see himself and his kids. He didn't even hurt his kids' emotion, but he made sure they walk in faith. And when we come to verse 20 to 22, even after he heard one tragedy other after other and after other, he had a good self-control. He gave praise to God in that heavy pain. Can you imagine that? He had pain that we can see from his action. That is verse 20. But still he had that good discipline. If we do not have that discipline, mostly we might behave like the Job's wife does on chapter 2 verse 9. I don't think Job's wife is a person who with less belief, but I feel like maybe less discipline. That practical application is very less. If we do not have that discipline, we might behave such way. Okay, so have that discipline is very, very important. Keep reading the Bible doesn't work, but apply it in your life. You have to apply it in your life. There are people who can say Bible verse even while sleeping, but the application of those in their life is very poor, and vice versa too. In James, he said to us to pray for getting wisdom, and I have shared it before also. That was a very special article I shared with my blog email subscribers. One quality in this wisdom is having is this emotional intelligence. When you ask help from your husband, he didn't provide, how many of you scold him or fight or argue or at least murmur or feel anger inside and feel less self-love or as failure for loving yourself or for him? If we do not have that emotional intelligence, we behave such way. We need grace to act on those such kind of emotions. So how can you know yourself? I personally love these 4 steps. Self-motivation. Like I said, please go read the article from my blog. I have added more Bible verses in there. Bible is full of motivation, like motivation. Just we fail to see those. Sometimes even we see but fail to apply it. When we have troublesome struggles, we immediately doubt Lord Jesus Christ. The prayer reduced, started feeling guilty, completely go off the track. How much confidence you have on God when something falls out of your life? How many of you say happily and confidently that Jesus Christ is having some plans for me, I'm okay with this? How many of you say that? I'm going to get those instead of unhappily agree to the present situation and curse yourself and your loved ones for the things you couldn't get as others had. That's not motivation, that is selfishness. Job had a lot of self-motivation. When his friends tried to talk him out of belief, the depth of confidence he had in Lord Jesus Christ shows us from where his motivation came up. So if you cannot find that self-motivation, again, I want you to take a paper and write down what doubts you have, where you feel that less confidence and why. And also I want you to write down the possible solution you can come up with not with the guilted solution, but the real solution as per Bible, and find the Bible verses or story from Bible which possibly the Lord Jesus Christ may be talking to you through verses, and find that confidence and keep practicing this on day-to-day basis and discipline yourself so you don't crash under pressure but motivate yourself. And my second point is self-God. Self-goal is very important in discipline. Like I said in my last two podcasts, the planning controversy and self-time of a homemaker, make goals. Make self-goals. Make goals for studying Bible, for walk according to Bible. Take one advice from the Bible and keep it as a week goal and walk according to the Bible. And walk in a correct way. For example, jealous. Never feel jealous. Take that as your self-goal for the week. Make one shorter goals for each day. Divide the goal of jealous. No, never feel jealous into 7 each shorter goals, and your interventions or steps to walk away from jealous for a week as per Bible. That way you are applying no jealous of Bible advice in your life practically and intentionally. Always have some self-goal instead of just living your life. Make some goals. Have some goal to wake up every day and work hard for those in prayers. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Never been tired. Keep going. You don't get something. He's having a better plan for it. To see that plan, talk to him, pray to him daily, know what is his wish for you by constantly talking to God. Make the goal of getting to know God's wish, work for those. Always make your goal spiritual oriented, because our only life intention is getting the crown up in heaven. So make spiritual goals. Don't push those by thinking there is no need. Okay, make spiritual goals, as this world is keep going to get more busy and more crazy. So if you cannot find time for those, we will keep postponing the Bible study, applying the Bible in our life. Then third point is self-confidence. Self-confidence, your self-confidence that you reveal out to people shows your confidence on Lord Jesus Christ. The confidence that you have on God is clearly being visible by others. When I didn't get my nursing job, and when most of my family said I'm not blessed, I had only one thing as possessed, that the confidence on Him. I was able to say to them, oh, I am blessed, without a pin drop of doubts. But now they can realize the confidence that I had on Him. My behavior of confidences show them the confidence I have on Lord Jesus Christ. So maybe then they didn't realize, but now they do. Remember, the depth of confidence you have about Lord Jesus Christ shows your self-confidence on your, it is visible on your face and the mouth, the way you talk, the way you survive the struggles. Everything is ministry. Jeremiah 17:7. Even in your struggle time, the way you walk and talk confidently shows up your confidence on Lord Jesus Christ. Oh, don't think no one realize faking. Do not think that people are way too smarter to caught you faking. Okay, so have that confidence on Lord Jesus Christ, which will be showing on your face, on your way you talk and act. So always have self-confidence. The self-confidence, your self-confidence is a reveal of your confidence on Lord Jesus Christ. I hope you got my point. Then the fourth tip is self-awareness. Aware about yourself, your action, your talk, your behavior. You are a mirror of your inner self. If you talk bad words, you are a mirror that you don't believe even follow Bible. People who sincerely able to follow are able to control the fault words. You agree it or not, it is true. At least they will show some improvement. So be aware about yourself. If you find the faulty, try to correct it. It is very easy to get that bad words in our mouth. It's very easy because we live in this world and people always talk bad words, always use bad words, especially social media. So it's easy to store in our brain, and it is very easy to talk, but it's very difficult to control those. So be aware about what you are talking and what you are acting. Okay, so these are my 4 steps. So through Let me tell once more the four steps: self-motivation, self-call, self-confidence, self-awareness. That is how that emotional intelligence. So through assessment, motivation, goals, confidence, and awareness, try to know yourself and improve your emotional intelligence. So if you like in any of this area, you only need to do is pray to Lord Jesus Christ so he can help you, like James said in his book of James. So discipline yourself. How? By reading Bible and assessing yourself every day by doing some journaling and writing down the interventions and applying it one by one slowly as per the Bible. I am in the process of making the discipline for myself because I know that I'm not well disciplined person, but I am trying. It's going to take a long time, but keep doing it. So I really encourage you to have that discipline, that is self mental Bible discipline for 2021 for improving your spiritual life. So last Monday I talked about the planning controversy. So with these two episodes, we are winding up with the into 2021 series. And as you enter the 2021, make plans for studying Bible every day and make goals for you every day as per Bible. Take one advice from the Bible and keep it as your week goal and subdivide those week goal into 7 shorter goals and as per Bible and live accordingly and applying the Bible practically. By keep knowing yourself and assessing you and make changes as per the Bible and make biblical goal and maybe biblical plan and apply that Bible in your life for whole 2021 and improve your spiritual life. Remember, ladies, you need to apply the Bible in your life or else whatever you study become useless for yourself and for others. And in this busiest, craziest world or time, you need to have or make spiritual goals in. So take your book and make it happen by reading and applying the Bible every day. And remember, God is with you and me all the time. This is Elohimimi podcast.